What is going on, YouTube, and welcome back to another Galaxy of Heroes video with me, your bald-headed boy Scribble. It's Monday morning, and that can only mean one thing. We're about to be galactically challenged. Today we find ourselves on Hoth, facing off against Gerrera. It's a bit of a nasty one today, ladies and gentlemen. The global modifier is Frigid Expanse. Essentially, every single time one of our units takes a turn, they're going to be gaining a stack of Frostbite, which is going to be reducing their crit chance, potency, speed, and attack. And when it reaches 10 stacks, they are going to instantly die. Now, we do have an ability called Thermoregulate, which will remove 2 stacks of that Frostbite, but it's got a cooldown of 3, so eventually people will start dropping off. We've got the Steadfast Retribution modifier for this particular Galactic challenge, which means we are going to be reflecting damage back at the enemy with our Galactic Republic allies. It's quite a useful modifier. The enemy does have a couple of surprises left. They've got a bunch of health steal, they can't be countered, and they're going to be gaining Cornered, a unique buff which essentially gives them more defense and health steal and speed, and they call random allies to assist. It's horrendous, guys. So let's think about feats. What do we need to do? We need to win with a full team of Galactic Republic, we need to win after taking 8 turns in a row, and we need to win after removing 400% turn meter from the enemy. Now I'm going to start off with the easiest way of just getting a win in, and that's going to be using Gas 501st. So General Skywalker is a very good unit to be using here, simply because he is able to have such high levels of sustain at all times. They are also gaining quite a lot of buffs on this enemy team, so that does make things a little bit easier for us, because that's going to be ramping up all of the damage output that we are going to be dealing with our clones and gas as well, I suppose. So let's see if we can get that AoE. All we care about in this particular instance, guys, is just trying to get that win, secure that victory. Getting days on Biggs and even on Baze Malbus is actually incredibly valuable. I'm just get rid of that counter attack for a second, because they will generate passive turn meter all the flipping time. Now I'm saving that form up for when gas drops, because I want to be able to get out of that crouch stance as quickly as possible when we do drop into it. So let's see, who do I want to remove stuff off? I'm just going to systematically try and remove those debuffs running there. Now, unfortunately, when we do hit the the explosions from Saw, it is basically going to kill everybody, even though it does state that it can't actually kill people. It's lying. It can kill people. We found that out in a recent Galactic Grand Arena. Sorry, not Galactic Challenge. Found that out in a recent Grand Arena where Saw's explosions do in fact kill people. Alright, so there we go. We're going to clean up shop here, just get rid of the remaining guys. Again, this is all about just trying to secure the victory. We're not looking to do any of the other feats, and they're going to take 103,000 turns before we get to do much of anything. Alright, let's just keep on going over here. Let's do that form up. Lovely. Come on. Saw, why are you so chunky? He is just the chunkiest guy I've ever met. Alright, okay, so I'm going to use... No, I'm just going to basic here. We're going to lower that max health. See how chunky is this guy? It's unreal. There we go, eventually. God darn it. Okay, cool. So, Gas with a standard 501st is able to get through that relatively easier. Like last time I did it was so much easier. Okay, moving on. So if you've got a Queen Amidala team, this one is great for full Galactic Republic as well as removing turn meter. Essentially, whenever the enemy is attacking out of turn, they're constantly going to be removing turn meter from the enemy that is irresistible, 10% at a time. Now, I've thrown in Shakti and C-3PO alongside what people call the Poncho Bros. I don't like it because only one of them is actually wearing a poncho here. It doesn't really make sense. Cal Kestis isn't in this team. So this team is fantastic, guys. Now, I didn't show this one first because I understand that Queen Amidala with Master Qui-Gon Jinn and Padawan Obi-Wan is a bit of an exclusive team right now, so I didn't want to just go right out the gate and show this team, but it does work for almost all of the feats. It got me the 8 turns in a row, it got me the 400% turn meter removal, and it got me full Galactic Republic allies winning. Now, C-3PO also can remove, I think it's 5% turn meter when he uses his basic. Unfortunately, the enemy has quite frequently got that rather annoying and irritating tenacity up from Saw, so it makes it a little bit harder to land those. But thankfully, like I said, the attacks out of turn that the enemy will constantly be doing is also always removing turn meter from the enemy. They cannot resist that, and they do get some damage over times if they didn't have, tenacity up. So I'm just going to speed this up just a little bit, because the battle does take quite a lot of time. As you can see here, we are just going slogging and slogging and slogging and slogging and slogging, and eventually we do manage to clear through them. They've got so much sustainability, we've got so much sustainability, so it does make it a bit of a slog, this one. And there's also the constant sources of blind from Saw as well. That makes it a little bit more irritating. But as you can see, gradually over time, we do start to whittle them down. And of course, the Queen's Decoy does a great job of tanking quite a lot of damage over time. So Big Starglider over there is one of the most frustrating units because he's constantly gaining 100% turn meter essentially when we critically hit him, and then he gets evasion up. So it's very important to land daze on him and hope that you will eventually chew through him. Now, I probably shouldn't have focused on him so much. I probably should have just gotten rid of the other allies sooner so we didn't have to worry about him taking so many turns. But eventually we do clear through. I just put it on full auto at this point. We're still doing really good as far as stacks of thermal regulate's concerned, and that's that. And as we can see with the victory screen scrolling off here, I believe we show Galactic Republic's full battle, full team of Galactic Republic, 400% turn meter. The only thing we didn't get is the 8 turns in a row. So, to get the 8 turns in a row, I'm using a Malgus lead with DR, Malak, Han Solo, and Vader. Now, that opener was actually very important, guys, so let's rewind just a second. You want to use Han Solo here to stun Saw at the start, so you can't get out those thermal detonators, can't get that explosion going. After that, you need to get an AoE off with Darth Revan that gets the shock across the board. Most importantly, that it lands on Biggs. After that, we are just going to be going into Most Merciless Massacre with Mr. Vader himself. This is going to get us all of our turns. So we've had 2 turns already, and then Vader goes in and he takes essentially another 6 turns or so, and that already completes the 8 turns in a row. Very important that we get that off. Get it out of the way at the end, and then you want to use Thermal Regulate on Vader to bring that down. After that, cleanse off that taunt with Baze, and we just want to play this very carefully. What we want to do here is we want to remove the protection from all the enemies without triggering that 25% damage threshold that Saw has. 25% health threshold, where essentially enemies go into stealth and then they recover 100% of their protection. We want to be able to do that so we can do nice little life drains out of Malak there to get rid of people before they can have a chance to recover anything. So you don't want to do anything crazy now. It's all about control at this point. Don't deal too much damage to them. Just make sure that they don't have any protection. Keep them feared, keep them ability blocked, keep them shocked for as long as possible, and just slow this game all the way down. We've already hit the attack at the 8 turns in a row. We've already had the Galactic Republic victories. All we need to do now is just make sure we secure the victory here. And believe me when I say, you can still lose from this point, because the enemy has got absolutely ridiculous damage output. Now, personally, doing something like this and attacking Chirrut is a really bad idea. He's going to counter it. Look at the damage that comes out of Wedge. It's insane amounts of damage. So yeah, just make sure you are constantly using that Thermal Regulate to keep the stacks of Frostbite low on your enemies. Don't use stuff like Merciless Massacre here. You do not want it. And just slowly but surely start whittling away at the enemy. Again, you want to bring them low, but not too low. Keep them as feared as long as possible so that you can do stuff like this. Getting rid of Biggs with another life drain over there, because Biggs is a real pain in the bum. After that, it's more fear. It's more fear, it's more control, and if you can just make sure that the enemy does not get a chance to get away from you, doesn't lose too much of their health or anything like that, you're going to be in a good position. Again, Malak is incredibly useful here for his life drain ability, and that's about it, really, guys. Once it gets to this point, you should be relatively okay. I think I just try and Thermal Regulate here to try and keep people alive. Now, I still don't like the idea of Chirrut being available and getting away from us, because he does just do insane damage. I wish my Chirrut was like this, I will be honest. So I'm just getting the blind on Chirrut. I just want to make sure he doesn't recover protection more than anything else, so that when we get the chance, we've got the opportunity to get a nice life drain out of Malak and suck Chirrut off, basically. Yeah. Suck him off so he can't do anything. And that's about really it, guys. It's not an easy one, this one, and I appreciate not everybody has got their Malgus, rather, and that could be a little bit of an issue, but if you do have Jedi Master Kenobi, we will show you another way of getting those 8 turns in a row. So just finishing off Baze here, I think we just do another crush, and then I guess I thought I was going to go ahead and Culling Blade him there, because he was going to be perished. But there we go. That way we'll get you 8 turns in a row and the victory. And here we are then. Jedi Master Kenobi, just take out one of your units and throw in Darth Vader. Basically, Jedi Master Kenobi will stop any sort of turn meter generation, which is rather nice. We're going to go ahead and immediately use our wonderful DI over there on Commander Ahsoka Tano. Now, I could get rid of Baze, but I don't particularly want to. So I'm just going to pass this turn back over to JMK, get rid of all that taunt nonsense. Then we're going to go ahead and just do a little bit of this good business. Vader goes into Merciless Massacre. Then you just go ahead and drop a Crush, I guess. I really should have saved that for Xaereth to stop him from gaining an additional attack there. Counter-attack, but there we go. I guess we'll just have to deal with that. And that's basically it. That's all of our turns done, guys. Multiple turns in a row. Wonderful. Sorted it. I don't know why I'm doing it like this, but whatever. Okay, let's just get rid of Baze. Baze is a big doo-doo head. Unfortunately, Saw's explosions just do, quite frankly, ridiculous damage. They do insane levels of damage. So I just wanted to make sure that we get rid of Saw. I knew that Jedi Master Kenobi was going to be as blind as a bat. But there we are. That is the way it is. That is the way it is. As you can see, their damage output is bordering on the ridiculous. And by bordering on, I mean it's quite literally utterly absurd. Utterly absurd levels of damage output on this team right now. And they're very chunky. See how much damage they could just resist. They just go ahead and just take it to the face the whole day long. But yeah, you should be fine once you've gotten rid of people pretty early on. You get all of the attacks out of turn, and then you pass it around and you delete, yeet, skeet people. And that's kind of it, guys. So I hope this video was very useful to you. If it was, please do make sure you hit a like. And apparently my stream deck isn't working. Make sure you do hit that like button, guys. This was a bit of a frustrating one. I understand. I appreciate it. If it was useful, do hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And a huge shout out to my patrons. You guys are awesome. I'll see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.